When you're talking about reducing customer acquisition costs, the first thing that comes to mind is really just being able to automate all of your front to back office sales processes. So the key goal here is being able to speed up the sales process so that you're giving the sales teams as much time as possible to be able to focus on selling, taking away all of their mundane tasks, giving them all the data they need to be able to make informed decisions in order to guide their conversations with their customers is going to ultimately help reduce that cost to acquire them. Also, more importantly, to be able to drive more business and acquire more customers.
If you think about a salesperson and the amount of deals they can do, they're often constrained by administration, having to send out emails and prepare quotes, and the quoting process is usually very difficult and time consuming. In our own business, we need multiple people involved in the quoting and approval process. The salespeople are actually limited in their capacity to sell, but if you can provide automation tools where it's a lot easier, they click a button and the quote gets generated and sent out in PDF to an email and it's auto signed, those kind of things allow your salespeople to sell more capacity, more volume sales without having to hire more sales reps. And that's B2B. If you go to B2C, you really need to scale your acquisition onboarding process. And the only real way to do that is through systems and automation.
I just really want to call out that the aim of automation here is not to necessarily reduce the number of people that you have and lay off staff. It's being able to make the best use, we're saying, of what you have and the staff that you have and give them more time to do those value adding opportunities. I think there is sometimes that misconception that if we're talking about automation, we're talking about making people redundant and reducing your employees. If anything, it's the opposite. It's being able to improve your employee satisfaction by taking away those mundane, horrible tasks and being able to add to the selling cycle or to creating that new innovation and bringing more products to market or whatever it might be.
What about reducing customer onboarding costs?
Look, I think this is really an easy one for everyone to kind of understand how automation can help simplify this. So if you think about a customer onboarding process, for example, for a bank, it might be automating a customer's home loan application or a new bank account request. From a government perspective, it could be onboarding a new healthcare provider. Any, type of customer you're thinking about onboarding, every step of that process can be automated. Every part of sending out an email or getting someone to email an attachment that you scrape and get the data out and put in a system, you can automate the whole process end to end. It can really be as simple as just even passing data from different systems. But where you really see the benefit with some of the technologies we have available today is things that you might not have thought that you could automate. I know Robin did touch upon all the robots, and I think where they play a good role is those things you haven't been able to typically achieve. I know pretty much every bank has one of those legacy product system, green system things that previously you couldn't really do anything with. You had people manually entering data or even reading 500 PDFs in a day. Yeah, while those things can 100% be automated, you kind of need to think beyond the benefits of just taking away people's time from automating those processes. It's also, you have that benefit of reducing errors from manual data entry. So anything that a human, is doing, you're incurring that risk of something not being entered properly. You can, picture the flow and effects of that. Someone's got to go and find out there's an issue, update it. It could decrease customer satisfaction if something, ultimately impacts the customer. So it's not so much, it's important to reduce the customer onboarding costs, but there's also sort of flow on effects of automation that have kind of hidden benefits you might not have thought about. And what we typically see with our customers that do automate processes end to end and use technology such as RPA to achieve that last mile of automation is they're actually able to achieve a 99% reduction in human errors from all of these tasks. That's not even talking about the really obvious benefit of being able to take a process that might take weeks for someone to do manually to just the amount of time it takes for everything to run. So it can be minutes.
I'm glad that you mentioned that about not getting rid of people, for them to be able to focus on stuff that really gets them excited rather than repetitive, mundane tasks. No one says ever that they love working on those things. And it's really just getting the machine to do what it does best, right? The automation's really maximizing its power.
It's unlimited manpower. If you think about all the bottlenecks in your organization that are holding you back, where you've got to hire another person to scale the revenue, if you can apply automation automation, that revenue is scalable without having to hire new people. So this actually, if you gear it correctly, automation is the tool that will create some breathing room between your revenue and your fixed costs. Because so often companies have fixed costs and then they have variable costs. So the variable costs grow as the revenue grows, right? But what if it wasn't like that? What if you could scale your revenue and you just turn the tap on? Like you just say, oh, we just need to do another 1,000 automations this month without having to hire people. It is really revolutionary. It's not about removing people. It's about scaling the revenue and scaling the work they already do.